Purpose is overrated. There, I said it. I've had this burning desire to get out of the rat race, done with this belief that if I just work hard enough at a job I don't even like, eventually I'll get the big house, the cars, the white picket fence, and then I get to actually live. But do I even want all that? I call BS. And kind of from what I'm reading and watching and seeing in comments every day, so do thousands of you. So I've been looking for what's next, and the advice that keeps showing up over and over is you just need to find your purpose. Well, here's my problem with that. It's not the idea. I kind of have a problem with the word. We're never actually agreed on what purpose means. And depending on which definition you're quietly using, you end up feeling like a failure, like you're lost or guilty for not having found it yet. And if you're already dealing with a job loss, death in the family, you're broke, or just generally unhappy, being told that you need to just find your purpose doesn't help at all. In fact, it just adds one more thing that you're apparently failing at. So let's actually break the word open. I think we typically talk about purpose in a few ways. One, we talk about purpose as a destination, the thing that you're here to do, out there somewhere waiting to be found. Like if you just search hard enough or take the right quiz or have the right epiphany in the shower one morning, you'll land on it. And it's vague and it's this amorphous thing that's just out there. And under this definition, I feel like failure feels enormous. It means you've missed it, maybe permanently. Maybe you're just one of the unlucky people who never finds their thing. Or even worse, if you're in that place where I am and a lot of you are, where you're finding yourself needing to pivot in life and not knowing which way to go, purpose feels like something you lost and have to desperately find. So no pressure, right? Another way that we look at purpose, I think, is in what you produce, what you contribute. Your purpose is to build or to teach or to lead or to fix things, which seems a little bit more grounded, but it's still tied to doing, which is a problem because what happens the second the doing stops? You face retirement, a layoff, you get injured on the job or injured in general. You have an empty nest. If your purpose is what you produce and the producing goes away, then so does your purpose, which is a little terrifying. I think both of those definitions kind of make failure and shame the whole ballgame. If you miss the destination, purpose is gone. Stop producing something, then your purpose is gone. And now you are less than and not enough or worthy. So here's a bolder thing I might want to say, and I mean it. I think purpose, the way most people are selling it, is a little overrated. Because it seems like everybody's got an opinion on how you find yours, right? Like go on a retreat. Maybe you should journal about it and ask yourself what you do if money didn't matter or if you didn't have to work anymore. And what I find personally annoying is it seems like the people telling you to go find your purpose are often remarkably quick to tell you what that purpose is too. Like they did the work of finding what their purpose is. They went to some retreat or read this book, and somehow that qualifies them to hand you yours, gift wrapped with no assembly required. And I just don't buy it. Not because I don't think purpose isn't real, but because I think we've been chasing the wrong shape of it. I think there's another way that we could understand this or maybe think about it. Instead, defining purpose as a journey, not a destination. Not a fixed point that you have to find and then somehow you're done. It's more like a compass heading. It's something you keep choosing. And what sets the heading isn't an assigned mission. It's being honest about what you actually want. Not the job, not what you're producing, not what you were handed or told to want, what you actually want. And unfortunately, a lot of us at a certain age, we're never really given permission to ask that question. We sucked it up. We dealt with it. We were told to be happy with what we had, and we're expected to do what was expected of us, and that was that. But I think if you give yourself permission to ask that question and you can answer it honestly with yourself, then that's where it starts. And the longer you live in line with that honesty, every once in a while you look back and go, oh, that's what that was. That was my purpose. And here's what can change under this perspective. Failure basically stops being the threat that it used to be because there's no destination to miss. There's no product that has to keep flowing. There's just one question. Are my decisions and my actions actually lining up with what I actually want and what's real for me? And if they're not, that's not a failure. It's just information. Either what you want has shifted or what you're doing has drifted. And either way, you adjust. And I don't think that means that you're off track. You're just recalibrating. And that is okay. That's not pixie wings and rainbows. It's just freeing, honestly, because what that does is it hands purpose back to you. It's not some thing that's out in the void for you to find. Instead, you're owning more of yourself by asking the deeper question of what really and truly matters to you and what do you actually want and what do you need to do to get it. I don't know. I think maybe that's why there's a disconnect that a lot of us feel. And it isn't really, I did everything right and it wasn't enough. I think if we're honest, it's more like I never actually stopped to check whether what I was working toward was what I even wanted to begin with. Maybe that is a certain job or a lifestyle for you, or maybe it's a certain number in your bank account. But that's the point, is that it's different for everyone and you get to actually choose it for once. A few videos ago, I told you that I kind of had a longer list of things that I hold on to that are kind of my scaffolding, if you will, and that I'd get to it eventually. So here's one of them. The buck stops with me. So good or bad, my choices, my decisions, my reactions, emotions, they're mine. No one else's, not a system, not a person, not a job or a relationship. It's on me. And yikes, that's a harder thing to sit with. It's a lot more comfortable for me to say that the game was rigged. It's the system. I never had a chance. I didn't get a choice. Rather than to ask whether I actually ever picked up a pen and wrote my own rules for myself. But here's the trade that I'll make every time. If you own it, all of it, the wins and the mess, then nobody gets to define you. Not a job title, not a bad quarter, not somebody else's opinion of what you should have done by now. You do. And that's the freeing part. And here's the kicker. You become your own purpose. The cost is that you don't get a scapegoat anymore. But personally, I'd rather have the freedom of owning my own life and skip having a scapegoat. So if you've ever felt lost, unsure of what's next, and someone's telling you to just find your purpose, here's what I'd ask instead. Not what's my purpose, just what do I actually want, and is today lining up with that? And that's it. That's the whole redefine. You don't need a retreat, a quiz, somebody else's 5-step plan, a sermon. You just need to start asking yourself that question and actually listening to the answer. If you found this helpful and if you've enjoyed this content, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe and answer me in the comments. If you feel like purpose has a different meaning for you, or if you're looking at it in a different way, let me know. I'd love to hear it. I'm open to hearing different ideas and how people perceive things. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.